also want to talk to you. I know you guys are launching a new esports league, which if you don't know about esports, I mean, I'm sure you'll talk about it, but it's bigger than any of us realize it is. I guess anybody under, anybody over, I'm over 40 now, but probably anybody over 30 realizes that it's a spectator sport. It's just a huge deal. And so give us a quick primer on esports and then tell us what you're doing kind of with this league.
Yeah, so esports is growing big time. I think people can relate to it's on ESPN now.
Yeah.
It's another sport out there. And so...
And you might have seen it's like a bunch of kids with the headsets on and they're playing video games, but it's competitively. And so I was making the joke the other day to somebody. It's like my kids, all they want to do is watch YouTube and watch other people playing video games. I think everybody can relate to it. It's like... And I say that as somebody who spends a fair amount of my time watching 9 guys standing around a diamond playing a game. And all sports are at some level are just a game and they're sort of silly, but we get ourselves emotionally invested and wrapped up in it. Kids are doing the same thing. They want to watch other people play a game, which is essentially what football and baseball and basketball always have been, but just incorporating technology into it.
So it's playing video games against other people.
Yeah.
And it's competitive. And right now, like the professionals are out there and they're celebrities, just like other professional sports athletes are now too. I think there's a growing following because it's still coming out of the dark a little bit. But now, what we're doing is bringing it to the youth level, elementary and middle school age kiddos. It is at the college level. It is at the high school level. But it's now finding its way to as early as 7 years old. So it's the same ages as our Code Ninjas is. So it's a perfect fit to bring in. We have the technology. We have amazing gaming hardware that we've purchased. And it's awesome. It's the same thing the pros use. And we give them, hopefully, the same experience that a pro would. And again, we pride ourselves in our coaches. So we have senseis. Now we have our esports coaches who are professionally certified with the Professional Coaching Alliance, which is the same coaching certification as Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL.
Okay.
So it is, very professionally done. It's about attitude. It's about communication. It's about good sportsmanship. A lot of the same qualities that Little League Baseball, youth basketball, soccer, hockey. It's the same category.
With the big difference that you don't have to be 6'6" or 250 pounds, or there. Hopefully, at the youth level, there isn't that level, but certain kids have physical gifts and traits that others don't, and that's. There's a certain amount of hand-eye coordination and a certain basic level that you have to have, but it isn't as physically limiting as maybe some other sports would be for certain kids.
And a lot like our Code Ninjas that we have come in. It's a different group of kids that are coming in. They're looking for their place, and these are like-minded individuals. So we come in and join an esports team. We have teams of 6 that play Overwatch, and we have that coaching. We have that social interaction.
So that was going to be my question. Is like what games are they actually playing? I understand there's teams and it's competitive, but what games are they actually playing?
Yeah, so Overwatch, which is it's kind of like a kid version of a first person shooter, so it's less violent. It uses kind of fantasy characters. But you are the character, first person shooter, meaning I am controlling myself in the world. And so you have a team of 6 that are like that, are communicating over headsets in the same room. They have a coach that's communicating against another team that is in another state. We're playing against teams against California, North Carolina, Texas. And you can, over the internet, over the high-speed internet with the hardware, they can play Overwatch is our first game, and then we're doing Fortnite.
I was going to say, I don't play Fortnite. I've managed to bamboozle my kid into not playing Fortnite. But he certainly has friends who do, and I understand that it's huge, and it sounds very similar from what I
Right, so Fortnite, what we really like about this esports program is that you're not playing against random people in the world. You're in a structured environment with a squad, a Fortnite squad, in that case, like eight people, and you know who you're with, and you're getting coached about being positive, communicating, good attitude, just like any other sport. So it really helps, and you can play with your friends. Bring your friends in, but you're not in this internet world that's just random people.
Right.
You don't know where they're from. We don't know what they're like. We have like this controlled, structured environment and positive coaching.
Yeah, and I mean technology in all forms, social media or games, for all its good traits, it can be isolating.
Right.
And so to be able to have something you can do collectively, I mean, I'm lucky enough to have two boys that love playing Roblox together, and
my girls too.
It's been they've come together with during COVID, but I feel for kids, parents and kids who it's an only child. They've got younger, a bigger spread there, and so having some sort of structure what can be a social aspect where and still structured like that, and sort of blending the technology with the traditional sports culture and what the values are there is that's kind of neat. There are tryouts, I understand, though.
Yeah, tryouts. So we just kind of have it just like any other sport. These are so it's a tryout where everyone makes the team.
Okay.
It's not going to be, I'm sorry, you didn't make the cut. But we do have different levels. We have gold and silver, usually by ages. But we're going to accept anyone who tries out. Mm-hmm. We're not going to load up a team either. We're going to balance the teams.
Yeah.
Because we don't want one team whooping and one team getting whooped. We want these to be a good experience, and we'll rebalance the teams if we need to. And so, because it's more about the positive environment, the socialization, than about beating a California team, which would be nice to do too.
Right.
Because we're better in the Midwest.
I used to work with a guy who his speech to his Little League team every year was, "Look, guys, you're here to have fun, but it's going to be a lot more fun if we're winning games."
That's right.
So,
But then it's, practicing. We have practices. We have a game every weekend. We have a game. We have practice during the week. Much like traditional sports.
And are you all in the same room together? Can you do it virtually? How is that working with COVID?
So at Code Ninjas, we have 2,500 square feet space. So we can have two teams, and with these capacity things that are going on, we can have two teams of 6 with 2 coaches in there safely. So that's kind of what we're going to do. The other part is we can go anywhere as well. So we're looking at partnerships with other organizations to bring us to them, and hopefully in a space like Code Ninjas where it's safe, social distancing is possible, masks must be worn. We clean every piece of equipment afterward. Yeah. So it is in person. We do accept virtual, remote participants in the league on the team as well. So if they're not feeling like they want to come in, we can have team members that are that don't come in, because again it's over the internet, and we can bring them in so they're not left out too. They can join in. Yeah.
Well, it's absolutely an example of kind of what we were talking about before, where Sun Prairie can be kind of a fairly typical suburb and have a small town kind of neighborhood feels to it, but yet is large enough and growing enough to support these new types of businesses and opportunities and things that are really, really unique. Look, the more computer science and IT people that grow up in Sun Prairie and kind of help build that community long term, and we keep those types of families and those types of people connected to our community and support them, in the schools, but also externally and with these kind of programs is right. all for the best. But I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's exciting. And thanks for being on. So
yeah. Thanks for having me here. This is great. Yeah.